Remember the good old days when we had cable TV or satellite TV where you could watch pretty much everything that you wanted? You had everything on your TV, everything was accessible at the tip of your hand with the remote control. You could just flick the channels, find pretty much everything you wanted. But then we started getting some competition from Netflix, and of course, cable and satellite started raising their prices to a point where a lot of people got fed up and started cutting the cord and moving over to streaming services. Well, we're at a tipping point at this point here where we reached a milestone with cable and traditional viewing. Take a look at this article right here. For the first time ever, broadcast and cable TV viewing is under 50% in the United States. Yes, less than 50% of the people are watching traditional broadcast and cable TV at the time. So in this video, I'm going to cover that. I'm also going to talk about Netflix and Disney raising their prices and how these two actually combine together. All right, let's dive into this video. But before we do that, if you are new to this channel and enjoy this type of content, please do me a huge favor. Consider hitting that subscribe button. Don't forget to hit that notification bell and hit that like button if you are enjoying this video. All right, let's dive into this article right here. This is an article out of AndroidAuthority.com. The chances are high that most people you know in the US don't have cable TV subscription anymore. These days, more and more folks are turning to streaming services to get the content they want. This is not really news to anyone, but today's milestone report on linear television consumption in the US is still pretty significant. Yes, according to Nielsen's July 2023 report, the combined consumption of a broadcast and cable television in the United States just dropped below 50%. This is the first time this has happened. Combined, these linear TV solutions accounted for 49.6% of the total. Meanwhile, the streaming accounts for 38.7% of the total, while the mysterious other category fills out the rest. Let's check out this chart right here. You can see here in this chart right here, again, broadcast and cable, 49.6. Again, first time ever below 50%. Streaming took up 38.7%, and whatever others are, which we don't know. But look at there on the right hand side, you got all these different streaming options. Again, I'm gonna talk about that a little bit more. You can see right here, you got YouTube, Netflix, Hulu, Prime Video, Disney, Max, Tubi, Peacock, Roku, Paramount, Pluto. Apple TV is not even on there. You even got some other ones like Stars, Discovery, Showtime. They all have their own streaming services as well. They probably account for just a little minor amount, so that's why they're on there. But there's a lot of different options for people. So a lot of people have, taken that opportunity to say, you know what, I'm done with cable. I'm done with satellite. Their prices are too high. They don't have the right content that I want. I'm switching over to streaming services. So that's what you're seeing here. Let's jump back into this article. But what if streaming becomes, sorry, go ahead. As interesting as this chart is in itself, it pales compared to longer term numbers. In June of 21, linear TV, that is, the combo of broadcast and cable viewing, accounted for 63.6% of the pie. That is a drop of 14 percentage points in just 2 years. If this trend continues, it's likely that linear TV will be a significantly minority in just a few years. Yes, and we're going to see this trend continue to actually go down for cable and traditional TV as well, because as the Gen Zers get older and start moving out on their own, start creating their own accounts or whatever, they don't watch TV. They don't watch cable TV. They don't watch that stuff. They pretty much spend all their time watching YouTube or TikTok. So they're not watching TV. And then as obviously the older generation, the boomers and the Gen X or whatever you want to call them, as they start to get older and start to die off as well, you're going to be replaced with the Gen Zers who, again, they don't watch TV. So this number is going to go down unless, we do get some type of radical shift from the streaming services, which could be a factor. And I will, talk about that a little bit in this video as we continue to read this article. But what if streaming becomes the new broadcast or cable replacement? Today's news is great for streaming media companies, but they should probably hold off on celebrations. Despite streaming's incredible rise over the past decade, the industry is slowly gaining the same problem of linear TV, the problem that caused consumers to abandon cable in the first place. The chart above already shows the issue at hand. Just look at all these streaming services. Yeah, that's one of the problems. The other problem is cost. I think this next paragraph gets into that. A recent report from Financial Times further illustrates the problem. Today, for a consumer to subscribe to the top streaming services, they would need to spend about $87 each month this number is higher than the average cable subscription cost, which is around $83 a month. Yeah, so obviously that is a huge issue. So what is the point if you spend more money cutting the cord than if you had, just your traditional cable TV that pretty much give you pretty much everything that you wanted. I mean, you may not have all of the stuff that you may get from like Disney or Netflix, but you can get pretty much mostly everything. So let's talk about a quick scenario right quick. So let's say you're a cord cutter and you got tired of cable and you want to just switch over to all these streaming services, and you're thinking, okay, you know what? I want to just watch what I can, but I'm just going to replace that with streaming. So let's say first off, you cut the cable cord. Netflix is probably going to be your first choice. So Netflix is going to give you a good option of Netflix exclusive TV, some Netflix exclusive movies. So that's going to be a good choice for you. But let's say you want to watch a little bit more TV shows, so then you're going to have to probably subscribe to Hulu. Those Hulu's has a good amount of current TV shows that's on the market. And let's say you already have Amazon Prime, so you're going to have to subscribe to Amazon Prime Video. Luckily, that is included with your Amazon Prime membership already. But let's say you wanted to watch some Marvel and some Star Wars. So now you're going to have to have to subscribe to Disney Plus. So then that's another option. And let's say you wanted to watch, some sports. So you still want to watch some sports. You want to watch college football, which is coming up in a couple of months. I can't wait for that. So you're going to have to subscribe to probably ESPN Plus, so you can get all of those games that come on ESPN. So then you're going to have that higher tier Disney Plus, Hulu, ESPN Plus. That's going to bump up the cost. And you're still not done. Let's say you like you like Game of Thrones, so you want to watch the new season of House of Dragon. So now you guys subscribe to Max, so because you can't get that on any other service. So, and let's say we're still not done. Let's say you're a Star Trek fan, you want to watch the new season of Picard, so you're going to have to subscribe to Paramount Plus in order to get that. And again, also Big Ten, I think they're going to be streaming some games on Peacock this year as well. So you may have to subscribe to Peacock as well. So that is a large number of streaming services that you're going to have to subscribe to. Not only that, it's the inconvenience of having to switch between different services, logging into this device. I'm going to have my Chromecast, I have to have my Apple TV, I'm going to have my Roku box. I want to switch between games. I can't really do that as easily. Then not only that, obviously the cost is going to go up there. So that is a huge problem for streaming services at this point, or people who want just one simple solution. You can't get that with what you have right now. And let's click over to this article. So Netflix and Disney Plus prices rises means streaming now costs more than TV. I think we touched on that. This is an article at techradar.com. Is it time to cut digital cord? The days of cheap TV and movie streaming are coming to an end. A new report by the Financial Times shows that thanks to recent price rises by pretty much all of the best streaming services, a basket of the top U.S. streaming services now costs on average $87 a month. That's up from $73 a year ago. Yeah, so right now it's not even economically efficient to get the to cut over to all these streaming services when you're paying more than what a basic cable package would cost at this point. So I don't see the point. It's very different landscape to the one of that delighted cord cutters who happily chuckled their cable subscriptions in favor of much cheaper options such as Netflix or Disney Plus. As interest rates have risen and competition has become more fierce, streamers are finding it harder to deliver the growth their investors want. And that means they're upping prices, removing content, and cracking down on account sharing. Yeah, speaking of account sharing, I did do a video about that where Netflix crack down on password sharing, and then they have, I believe, one of their best month or best quarters in subscription growth. So work for Netflix, and we know Disney is actually going to do that. I think starting next year in 2024, they're going to be focused on password sharing. They're going to crack down on that. So they say if it worked for Netflix, it may be good for us, but we'll see how that works out for Disney. Just last week, it was announced that Disney Plus and Hulu fees were going up. Disney had also raised prices in December 22. That was just 8 months ago. Disney Plus has followed in the footsteps of Netflix, which confirmed their prices were going up in March of last year. It has also since removed its cheapest ad-free plan in a bid to garner more revenue. Yes, speaking of the ad-free plan, let's talk about Disney Plus real quick. So the reason why Disney Plus is raising their prices, I think Let me say that. Let me keep going real quick. The big question now is whether that's sustainable. The Financial Times quotes Rich Greenfield and analysts at Lightshed Partners who asked, does cutting back on content and raising prices work? Can you raise prices another 30%, reduce content spending, and continue to grow subscriptions or maintain subscription? Who knows? Have streaming services become too expensive? The issue here isn't a streaming service has become more expensive, is that all of them have within the few months of each other. In addition to Netflix, Disney Plus, and Hulu, Peacock is going up this month. Apple TV Plus has already gone up, and the move to Max has put some subscriber prices up too. This isn't just isolated to video streaming either, with services like Tidal also joining the music streaming price hike. Yeah, so obviously it's not just a micro thing when it terms of streaming services, but it's a macro thing in terms of economy. We know inflation is going up. We've seen prices. It's not a video where I'm going to talk about all that, but basically we have gas prices, food prices, energy prices, everything is going up, housing prices, all that stuff is also going up as well. So it's tickling down to everything, affecting everything. In many cases, these are a pretty big increase, typically around 15%. For example, in the case of Disney Plus, the premium service is going up from $10.99 a month to $13.99 a month. A month. That's 29% price hike. So let's talk about that real quick. I was about to talk about that. So Disney, the reason why they're raising their prices is a strategic reason. They want to push people off those higher tier plans that doesn't have any ads or commercials, and push you down to the lower tier plans that have more commercials or more ads, because they get more revenue from that plan, because they get more revenue based off the number of ads that they can serve to you. So Disney's plan to become profitable is to push more people to that ad tier model so they can get more money off of that. So that's why they're going to raise those prices on those premium ones. They're probably going to continue to raise those prices to force everybody to get down to that ad tier model. And that's the problem here, because of course streaming isn't the only thing that's going up in price. I just talked about that. So that's pretty much everything I wanted to talk about in this video right here. Yeah, I remember the good old days of just having one easy to use system, and it wasn't that expensive. I mean, comparing it to streaming services, it's not convenient. It's not easy to switch between different services, and then DVR functionality is minimal in some of these streaming services when I'm watching live TV. So again, if I have my cable or satellite, DVR functionality is right there. I can always pause it, rewind, and go back. Love that, and that seems to be missing from some of these streaming services. So again, the convenience is just not there when I want to just switch back and forth between two different programs, two different shows, two different games. It's much easier if I have that remote and my cable TV right there, as opposed to switching between all these different streaming services. It's just not very convenient. But let me know what your thoughts are about this. Are you running into the same issue with this? Is your streaming services becoming too much? Have you cut the cord, or are you still using cable? Let me know down in the comment section. I think this is a good conversation to have. Thank you for taking time out to watch this video. If you enjoyed this video, please do me a huge favor. Hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to hit that notification bell. And chances are, if you like this video, your friends or family may like this video as well. So make sure you like and share this video. Also, if you want to stay up to date with the latest tech news, head over to Sounds30.com, where I curate and aggregate tech news from around the web, covering Apple, Samsung, Google, Android, computing, and even more general tech news, all at Sounds30.com. And until next video, guys, stay nerdy.